Hello, I'm Phil Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and in this episode, I want to give you some alternatives for Photoshop that are free. Now, they might not have all the bells and whistles, but they can certainly get you started and do enough of the work that you might need in terms of creating posts for social media, creating thumbnails, and so forth. So, listen, try them out if nothing else and see how you like it. Now, before I get into the details of it, I want to invite you to subscribe if you aren't already. That way you get all the various episodes and lessons that I put out right when I put them out. Thank you if you just did. All right, so there's a couple of options, and I've linked each one of them down in the description box so you can check them out for yourself. So the first one that I learned about ever is one called Pixlr. And it's basically, as kind of all of these are, it's an alternative to Photoshop. It's very simple. It's an online platform, and so it's, instead of downloading anything, you just go there and you can create, a flyer, a business card, a thumbnail, as I said, and so forth. Now, I have a lot of friends that use it. It's kind of a toss-up in terms of Pixlr versus Canva. I think overall Canva is the more prominent one that most people, like in the general public, seem to have heard of. Although, again, from the friends that I know, Pixlr is also there. So, what's nice about Canva is that it does allow you to save certain things and so forth. Pixlr does work the same way as well. Maybe not as much to the extent that Canva does. I think Canva might be a little bit better overall in terms of that, but you can certainly still save with Pixlr as well. So in terms of these two, maybe, as I said, it's kind of ultimately an exploration for you of what you're looking for. That's why I love technology in this sense, is because there's not one size fits all. It's what fits you. And so I would say give both a try and see which one you like better. In that sense, what's nice, most of them, these two, they kind of, in some sense, mimic Photoshop. So one of the added benefits of, if you're just completely starting off and don't want to pay for Photoshop, this could be a way to kind of really learn just some of the basics, at least. Certainly there's layers and, adding text and images and erasing and so forth. So, you do have the ability to kind of go deep with it. And again, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but at least by doing this, you can learn the basics and go from there. So that's the added advantage. Now, the third alternative that I want to give you isn't like a pure alternative. It's mainly, how would I describe it? It's mainly a way to create sort of thumbnails and graphics very simply, and it just kind of does it templated, right? So it's quotescover.com, and as the hyperlink suggests, right, quotes cover, you're kind of creating a quote and so it'll have a quote and it'll have a background. Now you can do some cool stuff with the background, darken it, blur it, make it black and white, whatever else you want. And same thing with the fonts. You can change the color, you can change the font, the spacing, and so forth. So in a sense, you could do a lot, but it is very much about just kind of creating a quote of some sorts. The good news is it has various dimensions. So, if you're creating a quote for, let's say, Instagram, it has that. If you want to create a quote for a YouTube thumbnail or the back of your, like a Facebook cover, a YouTube cover, we'll call it a background rather, not a cover. So in that sense, you have the ability to create various dimensions of that. But it is templated in the sense you can change the pictures how you want. You could upload something if you have it. But so it doesn't give you a lot of leeway, but it gives you a lot of leeway in terms of, having a quote against the background. That's the best way to describe it. So, there's Pixlr, there's Canva. Those are more of the pure alternatives in the sense of like graphic design tools, and then quotes cover if you want to create graphics for quotes. So those are 3 sort of Photoshop alternatives that I have for you that make life a little bit easier for you and certainly are free. So give them a try. Maybe there's others out there as well. In which case, if you know them, please share them so we can create an even bigger list. I would love to learn more and kind of share your experience with that. And yeah, let's help each other out in that sense. Let's start. This was meant to give you some tools, start a conversation, but that's how we all benefit by contributing within the community. So I encourage you to do so. Comment down below or hit me up on social media at Svitek. Also, if you think this might be beneficial to somebody, please share it with them. I certainly would appreciate it. I appreciate you. I hope to see you next time.